Hello everybody, Ace here, giving it to you straight with day 17 of the vlog challenge. And today I wanted to talk about stopping. That's something not many of us are very good at here in the West, especially in America, when we have a mentality that it's go, 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 100-hour weeks, grind, grind, grind until we make it to the tip of the iceberg. But if we don't have our health and our mental health while trying to get there, many of us never make it. And so today I wanted to talk about some ways on learning how to stop, and also ways on how to ground yourself when we're feeling a little overwhelmed. So over the last couple of days, I've been going a little harder than I normally do. I've been really taking it easy this year and resting and healing. And so every once in a while, every couple months, I go a little hard to see how far I've come, where I'm at, can I handle it? And then my body usually tells me, that was good, but this is too much. I need more rest, I need more nutrients, I need more this, I need more that. I'm gaining more sustainable energy as I go, but I still have a problem stopping once I start going. I realize something I'm struggling with right now is when I get ramped up, people give me a lot of energy. I don't spend a lot of time around people this year, but when I get around them, I get really energized, I get really ramped up. And then when I come home, I'm having a hard time coming down, and then I'm back to my old self of, moving around and legs always moving and just some angst, some extra energy. It's like a duck on the water needing to flap its wings out to get to expend its energy. And my body still doesn't have a natural way of doing that I've learned other than through my breath. And so I've learned to breathe myself from a ramp up back to a ramp down, which even breathing is not something that many of us do in the West. A lot of us find ourselves hyperventilating. We find ourselves taking really short, shallow breaths, which means that we're never really getting enough oxygen to our brains, and that's why we're always farting. You can see in people's lips. You can see it in their mouths. They can clench their jaws. We clench our lips. We're always moving, we're always tapping our foot, we're always impatient, we're always waiting to get to the next destination. And when we get there, it's not where we want to be because we want to be somewhere else. And that's why I had to learn how to stop, because it didn't matter where I wasn't where I wanted to be, even though I didn't even know where that really was. Every time I had an idea, like a dog chasing a bone or the mail truck, I had an idea, I can't wait to get this mail truck. And as soon as I got it, I didn't know what to do. Just like a greyhound chasing the rabbit around the track, I'm that greyhound. I wouldn't know what to do if I caught the rabbit. And eventually it just became so exhausting that I couldn't even chase the rabbit anymore. And then once I didn't have my rabbit to chase, I grew apathetic because I really didn't have purpose outside the next thing, the next opportunity, the next party, the next entertainment, the next experience, because I wasn't able to stop, breathe, ground, and spend time with myself because I couldn't stand being around myself or in my own company. And over this year, I've had to learn how to love myself. I've had to learn how to take care of myself. I've had to learn how to listen to myself, and I've had to learn how to stop. I've had to learn how to accept, acknowledge, surrender, let go, and all these different terms and concepts we hear. We read them in books, we hear them on podcasts, we listen to them in the movies and all this and that. But when we start applying them, there's not many people sitting there telling us, yeah, this is going to suck. It's going to be really hard. Because you basically got to become a new person, because you've been overprogrammed into this concept of go, 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 don't stop, grind till you get it. Doesn't matter who you mess over, just get yours. We've just been marketed and branded into this concept of pure insanity, and we've lost our humanity. And because we don't have much humanity externally to see, we don't really give it to anyone else. We don't give it to ourselves, especially. And then if we're not giving it to ourselves, then obviously we're not going to be able to feed anyone else with humanity, with love, with light, with kindness. It'll all be superficial. And that's what we've fallen into, is a society of superficial relationships, because nobody really knows who they are. Because again, we're never stopping because we don't have time to, because we're always trying to survive. We're always just trying to make it. We're always trying to get to where we're trying to go. And in my opinion, it's been designed this way. It's why I truly believe, I mean, look at the 90% of the population and below, both parents have to work. Their kids are being raised by the state schools. The schools are propagation factories, propaganda factories, programming factories. Why do you think your kid, 5, 6 years old, is a beautiful spark, this beautiful spark of life in his eyes, her eyes, and then by 9, 10, and not even now because of these masks and because of all this crazy virtual crap and the manipulation. And so we never stop. We never even have time to stop to think, is any of this stuff even good for us? Is any of this stuff even working for us? Is any of this stuff even working for me? We don't even have time. We just go, yes, and we keep moving. Oh, I heard it on the TV. I'm going to go do this. I watched my parents listen to the government on how to invest and how to build a family and how to do all these things, and it just got screwed over and over and over and over again. Every time I listened to the government, they got screwed. Every time I listened to some, higher echelon subject matter expert, they got screwed because they weren't stopping, they weren't breathing, and they weren't actually taking the time to go, what fits right here? What fits right in my soul? They told me a couple of opportunities they had to jump on things, but they didn't trust their intuition, and they didn't get it because they had to play it safe. Because in the reality of this situation was, if they take a risk and it doesn't work out, that's food off our plates. That's, mortgage payments missed, credit card payments missed. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have that luxury to take risks and play around with lives, and many of us still don't, even more so now than ever. The redistribution of wealth has been insane. Even now, even over the last 4 years. If you look at the companies that have been successful during this whole thing, during this whole crazy thing that's been going on this year. I can't even say it without getting censored. What all the box stores were opened, right? But nobody really stops to breathe. Nobody stops to go, why are all the small businesses closed and all of the big businesses that are already worth hundreds of billions of dollars and all stuff comes from China? Why are small businesses closed? Why are bars closed? Why are restaurants closed when I can go to the grocery store? Why is the grocery stores open but not the small markets? Nobody stopped to ask themselves those questions because we're arrogant and we're entitled and we don't breathe. I keep getting serious in these videos. It blows my mind because without self-awareness of the fact that nothing is actually working properly, including our bodies, and then we poo-poo every uncomfortable idea that comes our way, eventually we got to make a change. Eventually we got to change our mindsets about things. We got to try something different. And so that's why I say, when you start on this path of being human, when you start on this path to traverse your trauma to get to the oasis in your soul, it's going to be the hardest, most arduous, difficult thing you'll ever do. You're going to lose friends. Your family's going to alienate you. I call it the Mr. Smith effect. It's just what happens when you start challenging the matrix. It's when you start challenging the status quo. Even if all the people are driving themselves right off a cliff, doesn't matter. Because you're not a part of the group anymore. And when you're not a part of the group anymore, you're against the group. And that's an echo chamber, and that's groupthink. And again, because of all the shallow breathing, and because we don't stop and listen to ourselves, each other, to God, to the universe, we just go with whatever status quo is, no matter if we're unhappy or not, because we don't even know what happiness is. We don't even know what being healthy feels like. So what I often feel like when I'm making these videos or even just talking with people is I'm fighting an uphill battle because most people don't even understand what I'm saying when I mean that you can be free. We've been propagated and manipulated to believe we're free in this country and in this world, but it's absolutely not true. Try to leave the country without a passport. Try to leave the hospital with your baby without signing a birth certificate. Try to not get thrown in prison for paying a speeding ticket that wasn't even real or right. We don't have much freedom, but our spirits do. And this nation is one of those nations that allows our spirits to be free, at least for the most part. If you can wade through all of the propaganda and manipulation and programming that's keeping us spirits locked in step with the decay of society. And that's again why I want to make these videos and want to help as many people as possible, is because I truly do love humanity. I truly do love human beings. We're just very lost right now. And this video kind of went a different way than I had originally intended. But again, I really believe in stopping being the key to unlocking everything in our lives. Because until we stop, we're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Until we stop, we're going to keep eating the same food and dating the same people and consuming the same content and making the same decisions and choosing the same choices. And it's getting us nowhere. It's continuing to get us nowhere, and it's just becoming more and more painful. But if we learn how to breathe after we stop and start to listen to ourselves, each other, God, and the universe, once again, that is how we unlock everything, and that's how we unlock this life. It's a cheat code. I call it a life hack. It's just breath. It's breathing. It's incredible. I did day 3 of the HemiSync Gateway experience today, and my brain already feels so much better. And I'm also on day 3 of DIRT, and I definitely feel like I'm detoxing a lot of emotions and a lot of old feelings and old stuff that's being purged from deep layers of my emotional body. Not a big fan of being emotional, especially when I've been riding high for so long, but it's okay, working more stuff out. And I know that if I continue down this path, if I keep continuing to surrender, stop, breathe, listen to myself, eat the right foods, put the right nutrients in my body, avoid doing as much as I want, is more than I need, I will heal. And I may not be able to do a lot now, but I will be able to do a lot in a very short amount of time. And that's where my faith comes into place, is if I continue walking this path that has shown me a reduction in anxiety and in fretting and in mania, then I'll be healed. I'll be cured. And I'll have figured it out myself while also consulting the world and everyone else to try to get me there, because we're all different. We're absolutely different. Biodiversity, right? So when listening to these videos and you're hearing people talk about the things they've done, just take that as reference, take that as something to relate to. But you have to find your own way. And the only way you can do that is by stopping and breathing and listening. It's the only way, because we are all completely different. We have been through completely different things. Even if you're twins, even if you're the same fractal God from the same oversoul, you will have 2 completely different experiences, because that's the point. And so you have to learn yourself. You have to take care of yourself. You have to trust yourself, because your ego is going to continue to put up a good fight until you start listening to it and until you start addressing all of the trauma from its past that it's trying to get your attention for. That's really what the ego is doing when it acts out, is just like, I have issues, help me. When we act out, when we behave out of line, it's a cry for help to ourselves, and then hopefully for others to even, because here's the thing, is doctors don't cure you, you cure you. People don't heal us, we heal us. They just help us get there. That just starts with stopping and breathing, and we have to start doing that in this society. It's the only way. If we continue to get angry at one another and fight one another, and this is me included, I'm including myself in all this. These videos I watch back. I get into these flow states, and I don't even remember half the stuff I say, and I watch the video back 2 or 3 times, editing it on top of just watching it back after I'm done playing, because I like to hear what I have to say, because there's a lot of messages in these videos for me and where I'm at. I'm not in the best mood today. I'm a little down. I just breathe through it, meditate through it, eat good food through it. I try to avoid all the crutches and coping mechanisms from my past, because if I go down that rabbit hole, then I'm really creating a spiral of mania that I don't want to experience anymore. And so I know that if I stay centered, and even though I may not feel so grateful, still focus on what I'm grateful for, make these videos, do some work, rest, meditate, do some yoga, ground, spend time outside, spend time in the sun, get some fresh air. You'll be all right. You'll make it through to the next day. Just one day at a time, slow and steady wins the race. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. one of the best ditties I ever heard in the Marine Corps. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. If you can learn how to do something slowly and smoothly, you will become very adept and very, very quickly, and you'll master that. And so by stopping, it's working a muscle of learning how to stop. By breathing, it's working a muscle learning how to breathe. And by listening, you're working the muscle to listen. Because it's not going to happen overnight. It's not instantaneous. You can't get a vaccine for ascension. Ascension is work, and it's work every moment of every day. And if we could focus on the ascension work, focus on the spiritual work inside of us, the external work will take care of itself. So I just want to leave you with that today. If you like what you've seen and heard, hit that like button. If you want to join the Army of Energy, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to check out more content like this, see me on Instagram at Conspiracy Realists. And this is Ace signing off. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.